Hey, welcome back everyone. Today we're discussing an essential topic for hemp businesses, cross-state transport of hemp products. With the expanding demand for hemp-derived products, transporting products across state lines is becoming increasingly common, but it also introduces complex legal risks. Whether you're a Tennessee grower, manufacturer, or distributor, you need to understand the regulations that affect your business when moving hemp across state boundaries. In this session, we'll cover Number 1, the legal status of hemp and federal guidelines. Number 2, key factors to consider when transporting across state lines. And 3, strategies you can use to avoid legal issues and stay compliant. All right, let's start with a look at the federal legal landscape. As many of you may know, under the 2018 Farm Bill, hemp was removed from the federal controlled substance list, provided it contains no more than 0.3% Delta-9 THC on a dry weight basis. Now, this bill legalized the growth, transport, and sale of hemp and hemp-derived products across the U.S., but also introduced specific federal guidelines. Number 1, THC limit. Hemp must have a THC concentration of 0.3 or less. Any product exceeding this limit is considered marijuana and is federally illegal, meaning it cannot be shipped across state lines without very stringent regulations. Number 2, interstate commerce protection. The Farm Bill protects the interstate transport of hemp, meaning hemp that meets federal standards can legally cross state lines. Now, the bill explicitly states that no state shall interfere with the interstate transport of hemp. However, businesses must still comply with both originating state and destination state requirements. Number 3, testing and COAs. Federal guidance strongly encourages producers to have certificates of analysis, or COAs, demonstrating that the product meets the 0.3% THC standard. Now, COAs help protect your business in case of inspection or traffic stops. Now, while the federal government allows interstate transport, each state has its own approach to hemp, and some may impose stricter regulations and requirements. Here are a few factors to consider when transporting hemp across state lines. Number 1, the destination state laws. Check the hemp laws of the destination state before transport. Some states, like Idaho and South Dakota, impose stricter regulations or even prohibit hemp-derived cannabinoids. Ensure you understand THC standards, labeling, and licensing requirements in the destination state. For example, certain states may have lower THC thresholds for specific products or restrict the sale of products like THCA flower. As you know, Tennessee is now an example of a state that has produced rules that greatly burden the sale of THCA products. Number 2, licensing requirements. Some states require hemp transport licenses and permits. You may need a temporary transport permit or an out-of-state hemp license for transporting hemp products through or into certain states. Tennessee businesses should hold their state-issued hemp license and any additional transport permits required by other states. Number 3, carrier-specific regulation. Certain shipping carriers like FedEx and USPS have their own policies regarding hemp products, while the USPS has an approved federal hemp shipping list for businesses. For those using third-party carriers, ensure they are aware of the contents and have documentation proving the hemp's compliance with the THC limits. Documentation is crucial when transporting hemp. And here's a list of essential documents that Tennessee businesses should prepare before cross-state transport. Of course, number 1, your COA, including COAs with every shipment to verify that THC levels comply with federal standards. The COA should be recent and specific to the batch being transported. 2, COA should display a THC level of 0.3% or less and must be from a certified third-party lab. A QR code linking the COA can also be helpful for easy verification. Number 2, transport documentation. You must prepare a bill of lading that outlines details of the shipment, including the hemp's weight, THC concentration, batch number, and destination. This is helpful for customs and state inspections. Carrying a copy of your Tennessee hemp license and any destination-specific transport permits. These documents help demonstrate that you are operating legally. Now, number 3, driver information packet. If using a commercial driver, equip information packet that includes COA, your Tennessee hemp license, and details of the shipment. You also must educate the drivers on the legal status of hemp and make sure they understand how to explain the documentation if stopped. Proper documentation ensures smooth transport and can reduce the risk of delays or seizures during inspections. But cross-state hemp transport can pose legal risks, particularly if the shipment is stopped or inspected by law enforcement. Here are some of the common challenges that you may face. Number 1, misunderstanding about THC levels. Law enforcement in states with stricter THC laws may mistakenly classify hemp as marijuana, if they're unfamiliar with the COAs or the testing practices. This could lead to detainment, product seizure, or even charges that need to be resolved legally. Number 2, varying law enforcement attitudes. Some of you guys may experience, even with compliant states, some local law enforcement officers may have limited knowledge about hemp regulations. Certain regions may view hemp skeptically due to the close association with marijuana. Educate drivers on how to handle law enforcement stops professionally and refer to COA documentation if questions arise. Number 3, risk of product seizure. Despite compliance, some states impose zero-tolerance policies that allow them to seize shipments even if they contain legal hemp. While seizures are rare, businesses should be aware of this risk and keep copies of all compliance documents in case they need to address legal challenges. There are potential risks associated with cross-state transport due to THC misunderstandings and differing enforcement attitudes. Here are strategies that can help Tennessee hemp businesses navigate these risks. Number 1, stay informed of regulatory updates. The hemp industry is rapidly evolving, as you may know. State regulations are frequently updated. Subscribe to updates from industry associations and regulatory bodies to stay aware of changes in hemp transport laws. Number 2, verify the THC levels before the shipment. Conduct final product testing to confirm the THC levels meet the federal standard prior to shipment. Even slight variances above the 0.3% can cause issues during transport, so testing is essential. Number 3, pre-route planning. Plan routes to avoid states with restrictive hemp policies if possible. States like Idaho have stricter standards, so bypassing them can lower the risk of legal complications. Consider alternative routes or use states that have more favorable views on hemp transport if the shipment allows for flexibility. Number 4, build strong relationship with legal advisors. Working closely with a legal team that understands the interstate hemp transport laws and can help navigate any challenges. Having immediate legal assistance available can make a significant difference if the hemp shipment is detained or seized. Hemp Law Group has the staff and experience necessary to provide expert transportation and regulatory advisement to your business. To wrap up, transporting hemp across state lines involves a complex mix of federal and state regulations that can be challenging to navigate. For Tennessee businesses, compliance requires thorough research, meticulous documentation, and a proactive approach to staying informed on both the state and the federal updates. By carefully planning routes, maintaining clear documentation, and educating drivers, you can mitigate many of the risks associated with cross-state transport. If you need guidance on planning interstate transport routes or ensuring full compliance with state and federal regulations, don't hesitate to reach out to us at Hemp Law Group. We're here to help your business on the right path, no matter where your shipments are headed. Thanks for joining us, and stay compliant on the road.